and welcome to another Mark Bishop Show. Well, I have a very special guest for this episode, IBM's Karl. He's the retail industry partner. And over the last 2 years, the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted almost every aspect of our daily lives. And one area that has been heavily discussed is the impact on retail, where consumers have been through the ringer. Shopping habits we've adopted, all of us out of necessity, have become normal over the past 2 years, as we have become accustomed to the speed, convenience, and personalization different tools provided. I don't know about you, but today consumers no longer see online and offline shopping as distinct experiences. You know, we expect everything to be connected, just to serve us all the time. So, Karl, what say you? Are you seeing this too?
Yes, Mark, thanks for having me on. Yes, we're definitely seeing this. The things that each of us have experienced individually in our own households over the past 2 years, we have now studied globally at scale, and we're seeing the same thing. We just launched a global consumer study that we do every 2 years in conjunction with the National Retail Federation, which is the world's leading retail trade association. This study was nearly 20,000 consumers in 28 countries around the world. It's entitled Consumer 2022, Consumers Want It All, Hybrid Shopping, Sustainability, and Purpose-Driven Brands. So given the title, one of these big themes is related to shopping and the rise of what we call hybrid shopping, which is shopping that blends that digital and physical, which are really the two ways we've been able to shop. And frankly, they haven't really connected that much until only recently. So this is something like, go ahead.
No, go on.
Okay. So hybrid shopping can be something like buying something online, but picking it up in store or curbside. Or maybe it's shopping in store, and having goods delivered using a mobile app, or seeing something bulky and having it shipped to your home in the next couple days. Mm-hmm. And this is now the primary way of buying for more than 1 in 4 consumers around the world. And frankly, it didn't really exist in any scale more than 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, this is the NRF study, huge study what you're talking about. And these shifts in consumer preferences, they have retailers, rapidly, reinventing their business operating models, I guess with many tapping into, as you say, the hybrid capabilities. Give us some examples, if you would, Karl, of consumer trends and how technology is playing a role with reference to what you're talking about.
Sure. In retail, and I think this is true for virtually every industry, we find that technology is central to almost every change that's happening. If you think about even, let's say you're still a traditional store shopper, there is so much more technology related to store shopping than there was even just, 3, 4, 5 years ago. Things like self-checkout is now commonplace, where we're running the register ourselves. In many stores, there's now contactless and touchless payments, where you tap your credit card, you tap your phone, I tap my watch to pay. In some stores now, and I was just in one of these yesterday, there's no checkout. You scan yourself in, and then the store uses computer vision, hundreds of cameras in the ceiling of the store to watch you where you shop, what you pick up off the shelves. And, frankly, it's like a store you can come in and pretend like you're shoplifting, and you'll get the correct bill at the end. You just walk out. You don't actually go through any checkout process. And that's just related to shopping.
Right. There's
so much more technology now in terms of understanding the impact of, local events, like things recently with the ripple effect of Omicron and the impact that has on consumer behavior. Weather patterns, which, in the winter we get a lot of different weather patterns, that all impacts consumer behavior. Retailers and brands are taking those types of insights and using them to make sure they have their stores staffed appropriately, to make sure they move the right products to the front of the store or get products to the store that consumers are going to need in that moment, if they have the product, that is, and to better understand things like the supply chain shortages we've seen and know where those goods are, and frankly know if there's going to be a stoppage predicted 2 weeks from now and how they might route around, things like happened with the Suez Canal or all the ships backed up off LA last year.
I'm speaking with Karl Haller. He's IBM's retail industry partner. I don't mind the idea of watching me as I shop with everything by camera. That would stop, thieves and shoplifting. But I can hear people screaming now, privacy business. I don't want to be watched as I shop. But I love the idea where there's no exchange. You can walk out, but you'd have to be real sure that your bill really adds up to exactly what you've got. But I like it better than the idea of doing this, remote on yourself. I mean, I was in Safeway the other day. There was a mile long right down one of the aisles waiting for people to personally do their one or two items. So stores are going to have to put in a lot more of those in the way of service. You know what I mean?
I do, exactly. And that's what we're seeing. And we work with most of the large retailers in the country and in the world. And, we work with them on how to, frankly, remove what we call points of friction where customers don't want friction, and then spend money to, add better experiences where consumers do want. They want a more engaging experience. But I agree with you. Standing in line is not usually something people are looking to do more of. They want to eliminate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot easier, a lot more comfortable, lot faster, more jobs for technical instigated type machinery and understanding computers. It's all heading that way. So customers should expect, from your point of view, future retail experiences to be totally different to what we do now. I mean, it's rather exciting in its own way, isn't it?
I think it's super exciting. I was talking to someone about, what consumers should be expecting, and I was reminded of what was kind of a one-hit wonder from my youth. There was a song called "The Future's So Bright, I Gotta Wear Shades," and I think that's a way. As a consumer, it's a really good time. We're probably in the most innovative time. In the retail and consumer industry than we've been in the 20 to 30 years that I've been working in it. We've shopped. If you think about, again, we're talking about grocery shopping in this example. We shopped largely the same way in this country for groceries for about 100 years. Modern supermarket came in the early 1900s, and it's lasted for about 100 years. And up until the pandemic, more than 95% of groceries were bought the same way for the past 100 years. Now we're seeing things where you can shop online and you can have those things come to you in a box. If you want to shop online for some things and you want to go into the store because you want to pick the meat or the fresh vegetables or, choose exactly that perfect tomato yourself, and you don't want 4 other people handling it, you can do that too. It's just there's a real explosion of choice and options for how consumers can engage with the stores, brands, and sites they love.
Well, I can see it now, unless I'm out there in La La Land, but you can sit in your lounge room, have a remote, sit with the kids and dad maybe, and have maybe little cameras that skim along the shelves in each section. And then you can say, now look at that. Do we want that? No, get the other one, Mommy. Boom. You'd say, press the button and that's the thing there. I mean, you could virtually do all of your shopping visually. Do you think that's a chance?
Yeah.
Wow.
I definitely think it's a chance. I do. I think it's definitely a chance. And I think you can do that from home. And I think we're also going to see the emergence of video screens at things like, and I live in New York City, things like subway stations and bus shelters where there'll be shoppable walls. They won't just be billboards.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be actually walls that you can shop and you could scan items right there while you're waiting.
Yeah.
And then have those delivered to you. I was talking to an executive from a major grocery retailer earlier this summer, and he was talking about some of the things they have in their lab is not just planning for curbside pickup, because they've launched that. They're starting to plan for curbside pickup from a self-driving car.
Well, there you go.
So
Boy.
Your car takes you to your office in the morning, and then it goes out and does all your errands, picks up your dry cleaning, goes to the grocery store, goes to the hardware store. It does all that on its tasks during the day, comes back to you at the end of the day, and drives you home.
Oh, unreal. And then says, I'm not doing any more. I'm going on strike. I'm tired. All right, folks, the future of retail. Talk about the Jetsons. Tell you what, how technology is improving e-commerce and in-store experiences. Thank you, my friend. Wonderful. Karl Haller, ladies and gentlemen, the retail industry partner for IBM, IBM's retail industry partner. And what a fascinating, interesting story. Thanks for sharing with us, mate.
Thanks very much, Mark.
Bye now.